Hello friends, so today's video is going to be a book haul. As usual, I got a bunch of books from my local bookstore, Bookman's. They're fantastic. I'll have information about them in the description bar down below. First up, we have some books in the Forgotten Realms series. So I'm going to start with the Dark Elf Trilogy. I don't have a lot to say about the trilogy itself because I've not read it yet. But I have not yet read it, but I do have a very similar bind-up for the Icewind Dale trilogy, and I found this one that matches. I've been wanting to try Forgotten Realms for a really long time, and my friend Roger, he is a big fan, and he also recently did a video that's kind of a guide to Forgotten Realms, so if you're interested in that, I'll have his video linked because there are a lot of books in this series world. And this one, though, is one of the first ones, so the Dark Elf Trilogy. And this copy was $10.50, and it's a bind-up of 3 books. So I was like, I mean, that's a heck of a deal. And like I said, it matches a copy that we already have. And then one of Roger's favorites in Forgotten Realms would be the War of the Spider Queen. And I found this small little trade paperback for $4. Yes, $4. And I just figured that was too good of a deal to pass up. And I really want to take the plunge soon, because I've heard that these are a lot of fun and a lot of fantasy books. I always love when fantasy books break my heart. I always love when I'm really emotionally invested. I always love when they're really heavy and deep and they tie in so many things from our own world. But sometimes I also just want to escape. I just want to have fun. I want to see an adventure. And I've heard that Forgotten Realms is really, really great for that. Very, very different. This next book I don't know basically anything about it, but recently I've been here and there sprinkling in some books that are very popular over on Book Talk. And I like going in without knowing a whole lot, just so that I don't have really any expectations. I just jump in and see what I get. And I think it makes for a really fun reading experience. And this one, I have tried to avoid seeing what it's about, but I've seen some people that I'm friends with not love it. And that would be the Zodiac Academy. The first one is called The Awakening. And like I said, I don't know anything really. And I've seen some pretty negative ratings, but I've avoided looking at reviews. So don't tell me. You can tell me if you've liked it. You can tell me if you've disliked it. And you can tell me if, because there's a lot of books in the series, if you feel like you have to read a certain amount before it really gets good. I don't know. I just saw it and I'm like, what's that? And then I saw it was on one of those Book Talk displays. And like I said, I've been having a lot of fun jumping into Book Talk books and seeing what they like over there. Jumping back to a book that I got from Bookman's. So this one was only $7, and that would be Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb. This is a series that comes after the Farseer trilogy, which I have yet to complete. But I've heard that even if you don't love Farseer, or even if you don't end up reading it, that you can still jump into this, but for chronological purposes, it's good to start with Farseer. So I do plan to still continue on with that series. I gotta really be in the mood, because those books, they're not the Forgotten Realms. They're not just a fun, good old time. They're a little bit emotionally draining. So I do plan to eventually finish that trilogy and then give this one a go. If I don't end up liking the second book in the trilogy, I don't know that I'll force myself to read the third one in order to pick this up. I think I'll just go ahead and give it a go. But I've heard fantastic things about this particular series by Robin Hobb, and I've heard really good things about basically all of them in the realm of the Elderlings. After that, we actually have quite a few nonfiction books, a lot of which are somewhat similar in topic. And the reason I really was invested in trying to find these and wanting to give these a go is because I recently read the book The Hidden Life of Trees. And I really enjoyed it. It's all about how, I'm going to use air quotes, but how trees communicate. And I'm using air quotes even though it kind of is a good way to describe that book and what that book is showing you. I thought it was fascinating. I love nature documentaries, and I recently watched Green Planet, narrated by none other than David Attenborough, which I know he is a treasure to those of you who live overseas. And I'm so sad because when I watched Green Planet, there was a part of that documentary where he's in Arizona, where I live, and I was like, I missed him, and I was all sad because I was like, oh, he was so close. He was so close. Anyway, I really like him a lot, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard his voice, and you would recognize his voice if you've watched Planet Earth, or Our Planet, or Green Planet, any of those types of shows that are spectacular and wonderful. He's probably, I'm sure have heard his voice, but he has a book called A Life on Our Planet. my witness statement and a vision for the future. And I really wanted to give it a try, especially because I heard him, well, I wasn't there. I watched a clip of him speak at an event where he's talking about everything that he has learned and everything he has seen in working in this particular field and documenting so much to do with wildlife and nature and our planet over his lifetime. And he's 94, and just hearing him speak, he's a phenomenal speaker. If I can find the clip I'm talking about, I'll have it linked. He's just so moving, and I would really love to read a book of his. I mentioned The Hidden Life of Trees a second ago, and I actually bought another book by the same author called The Inner Life of Animals, and it's the same sort of edition as The Hidden Life of Trees, which I thought was great. I'm a big fan. I love nature documentaries. If you have any recommendations for some good documentaries, let me know. Green Planet, I spent way too much time trying to figure out how to watch it because it was currently only available in the UK, and I'm like, I'm gonna use some VPN magic to watch this, and I didn't just have to get a VPN, I had to do all sorts of other things. I had to like change the time on my stupid TV, and I had to do all these things so I could watch it, and it was worth it. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. If you have any nature documentary recommendations, don't worry about whether or not I've seen them, because just feel free to recommend some. But anyway, I really enjoyed The Hidden Life of Trees. I found this author to be a little cheeky. His humor is, I find, really charming, but it's very subtle. And I found that book fascinating, and so I'm very excited to eventually pick this one up as well. And then the last two nonfiction books still sort of fall within the same theme. I actually got these recommendations from Olive. We did a video over on collaborative channel World Hoppers that I run where we were talking about some nonfiction books, and if you want to see a person on BookTube who basically knows a book for you for any subject, check out their channel. And they mentioned a couple, I think Mara might have mentioned one of these as well, but the two books that I found would be Lab Girl and The Sixth Extinction. Both of these were at my local bookstores, and I was like, yes, please. I think at some point I might just have a readathon and read a bunch of these and then maybe watch some documentaries. Although then I'm going to be sad because I'm going to be like, no, save the walruses. Because if you've seen Our Planet, oh my gosh, the part where the walruses are all plunging to their deaths is so sad. Anyway, I'm going to move on now to happier things. This is why we need books like Forgotten Realms, right? So you can be like, oh no, these animals, they're dying. But at least I can read some fantasy books. Next up, we have The Black Tongue Thief. So because I'm dumb, I had The Black Coast, which also has black in the title, and then it has a similar color pattern. And so every time I would see this book, I'm like, I have that. And I did not. I've heard this is really fun. I feel like it's supposed to be a play on a lot of common fantasy tropes, but then it brings some other things into the equation. I believe the main character, I don't know a ton about it, but I believe the main character is in debt, and so I think they turn to thieving to try to gain some money. Next book, I saw it at my local bookstore, and I'm like, hey, I'm pretty sure that's really new. I'm surprised it's already here, and it was pretty inexpensive. But I was like, no, I have so many books, I don't need to get it. And I came home, and then not too long after that, I saw a comment that was like, hey, have you read The Starless Crown? It's really good. And I was like, dang it, because I had just seen it. And then the next time I went in, I didn't see it, and I was like, darn, somebody must have snagged it. And then I came in again, and I found it. It was not in the same place. I had checked the place, and it wasn't there. But you know what? Maybe it got moved around. But anyway, I have it now. I don't actually know much about it. I just know one of you recommended it to me, and now I do have it. That's a really great synopsis. I didn't have this book. Now I do. Last book is by the same author as The Wolf of Oren-Yaru, and that would be Legacy of the Lost Mage. I don't want to read too much in the synopsis because I believe it takes place in the same world as The Wolf of Oren-Yaru, as there is a name of a place in the first sentence of this particular book. And I'm like, okay, I recognize that name from Wolf of Oren-Yaru, so I don't know that I should read too much further in case there's any reveals. I don't think there are, but I just don't want to risk it because I still need to read that last book at the time that I'm filming this. And so I have not looked too much, but I do enjoy The Wolf of Oren-Yaru and its sequel. I've enjoyed both of those. I'm excited to read the third one. I'm hoping to read it very, very soon. And then eventually I want to jump into other books by this author. I think they're pretty darn underrated and underhyped. So excited to eventually give this one a go. Just like the rest of these. That's the whole reason I have all of them. That's the whole reason I got them. That's it for a bunch of books that I have gotten recently. Let me know if you've checked out any of these books. Like I said before, let me know if there's any documentaries you would recommend. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all later. Bye.